Urban Therapy with Sun 752, and this your daily Gogetemism number 111. 111. In other words, 111. And this is January 24th, 2015. Today, I want to talk a little bit about survivor's guilt, survivor's remorse. That's basically when somebody has passed on and you feel like they died when it probably should have been you. This can happen in a variety of ways, and none of the ways should you feel totally responsible for. Before I even get into any of this, one thing I want to impress upon y'all is that everything that born is going to die one day. We don't know when that day is going to come. Sometimes we can see evidence of it, but there's nothing you can do to stop that thing from happening when it's really time. So sometimes we say things like, I cheated death, or I almost was killed, or I was so close to death. I've never been as close to death as I was when such and such happened. But the truth of the matter is there's nothing you can do when it's your time to go. So you really shouldn't spend a lot of time feeling like there's something that you could have done to save a life that ultimately perished. Now, that's not to say that you shouldn't try to keep your loved ones healthy and try to keep them from getting into dangerous situations where they may be killed. But just know that the higher power, whoever you believe that is, controls who lives and who dies. So when the time comes, it's gonna take each and every one of us up out of here. We try to live as much life in a quality way. We try to gain as much quality of life as we can while we're here on earth. But the time is going to come when that time is up, and there really isn't anything too much that we can do about it. Now, I'm going to give you a little scenario where some survivor's guilt may come into play, and although it sounds like a foul situation, it doesn't take away from the fact that you're going to feel bad that you lost a loved one or good friend or whatever. Let's say that you and a childhood friend or a cousin or a brother, let's say that y'all were drug dealers and y'all took, you had a connect that you were supposed to meet to go and get the product, and you were supposed to actually do this. But whatever happened, something happened that day and you weren't able to make the trip, and it was a routine trip that you've done before to go, make the exchange, take the money, pick up the product, and do whatever the next step is when my street folks know what I'm talking about. So let's say because something came up and you weren't able to make that ride, you sent your partner to go and do it. He goes and does it. Something goes bad. He winds up getting killed. I don't know, maybe a shootout, maybe they tried to rob him, somebody else, whatever. But whatever the case is, he got killed. And you're feeling like if you would have went, then you wouldn't have gotten killed because maybe you run around and get strapped, or you're better able to handle those types of dangerous situations because your instincts are better and your reflexes are better and things like that. But you feel like you sent him on that run when it should have been you, so he got killed instead of you, or both of you might have been alive. And although that sounds like a foul situation for people who don't understand that street life, that's a situation that exists a lot. It's no different than if I sent you to the store to get something for me and somebody robs you at gunpoint and you don't give up the money and they kill you. You can look at it like that should have been me, or maybe that wouldn't have happened to me if I would have just went to the store for myself. But you sent that person to the store and they didn't come back alive, and you're feeling terrible about it. You can't go through your life beating yourself up about these situations. As much as we would love to keep all of our loved ones close to us and keep them around for whatever, and maybe sometimes we have feelings that we would like to pass before our loved ones pass before us because we find it so hard to deal with the pain of that loss. We just can't have it that way. And life goes on. When it's your time to go, that believe me, there'll be somebody out there crying over you and hoping that they could save you or wishing that you were around. But life goes on, and we have to accept that. We have to accept that God has a higher purpose for us, and sometimes it seems like, follow me on this, y'all. Sometimes it seems like people die too soon, or they were ahead of their time. Think about musical artists such as Jimi Hendrix or Tupac Shakur or Donny Hathaway or Aaliyah or Left Eye or a host of other artists that seem like they passed before their time. Otis Redding or uh, Marvin Gaye, whoever. But let's take let's take Jimi Hendrix and Tupac in particular for this exercise, because they did so much work. They were very young. Jimi Hendrix was only 27 years old, and Tupac was 25 years old when he was killed. Now, what both of those artists have in common is that they did a whole lot of recording before their death. Like, people wonder how they had time to make personal appearances or 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 do concerts and things like that, because they worked so hard in the studio. It almost seems like they knew that their time on Earth was short, so they're able to still fill up albums even years and years and years after their death. We talk about Jimi Hendrix. We're talking about 45 years later. He's been dead for 45 years. And Tupac, we're talking about, let's see, he passed in 1996. And so in 2 years, he'll be dead for 20 years. 20 years. So, I'm sorry, one more year, he'll be dead for 20 years. So, you know, we can say that they died before their time, but maybe they knew that the time was near, and they tried to get in as much work and build their catalog as much to leave their legacy as possible. We don't know if the man above sent them a message like, go ahead and do that work because I need to call you home soon. We don't know that. There are so many things in life we don't understand, and death is one of them. Because regardless of what anybody thinks or what anybody says about the afterlife, nobody has successfully come back to say that it's okay on the other side. Sure, we have people who said that they have died and they saw the light, or they had a death experience, and maybe in our world they were even flatlined and were dead and came back to life. But they weren't dead long enough, in my opinion, because the ones who were really dead, to where as their body gets cold, they don't come back. It's simple as that. But we have an obligation to make sure that we take care of the living. The people that are here on earth, we have an obligation to make sure that they feel the love, the affection, and the appreciation for them while they're here. Because when they're gone, there are going to be plenty of us, crying over them, being sad, and thinking that maybe there was something that we could have done in order to keep them here. But we really don't have that power, brothers and sisters. We just don't have that power. So we do have the power to make sure that we give love and show appreciation while they're here, though. And we need to maximize that power to the fullest. So try not to feel too bad about your loved ones that have passed on. Like grandparents are like God's greatest temporary gift, because they come into our lives when they're already closer to the other side. And the love that they give us and the guidance that they provide for us and the lessons and wisdom that they instill within us is something that we take wherever we go in life, and we teach to our young. But they gotta go, and so do we. Just saying. UrbanTherapyWithSon.com. Please go to the website, check it out, register, and let's do some things. Let's do some big things this year. Good things happen to those who wait. Great things happen to those who grind. And anything can happen to those who go for theirs. So go hard, go for yours, and remember, as bad as we feel about somebody who has passed that we were really, really fond of, they they're gone because it was meant for them to be gone. The same way we all will one day. And I don't want to leave y'all on a sad note. On a I'm on a positive note. Who's drinking tonight? Yeah, go ahead and turn up a little bit. I don't drink no more, but y'all like to see people having a good time. Just don't overdo it. Don't black out and don't suffer the hangover tomorrow. That shit ain't no fun. Don't let the rappers tell you that's cool. It ain't. I'll get with y'all tomorrow though on the 25th. For right now, for tonight, yo, have a good night. Have a positive night. Have some fun tonight. Do your thing. Peace.